Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's write some more Leetcode today. Today we are solving total characters in string after transformations 1. So the problem states that we are given a string s and an integer t, and t represents the number of transformations to perform, and s represents the string. And in one transformation, every character in s will be replaced according to these rules. So if the character is z, it will be replaced to ab. Otherwise, it will just be replaced with the next character in the alphabet. So for example, a will be replaced with b, and b will be replaced with c, and so on. And we want to return the length of the resulting string after t transformations. So if you look at this example, a, b, c, y, y, after one transformation, the string will become b, c, d, z, z. And for the second transformation, because we're performing 2, the string in B will become C, C will become D, D will become E, and Z will become AB. So the final string will be C, D, E, A, B, A, B, which has 7 characters, so we return 7. So now that we have seen some examples, let's get to how we can solve this problem. So we probably see a pattern here. C to Z will come from the previous letter, A will come from Z, and B will come from the number of A's and the number of Z's. So what we can do is we can make a count array of length 26, and each index will represent the letter where it goes in the alphabet. So this will be number of A's, number of B's, and this will be like number of Z's and number of Y's. And what we will do first is we will iterate through and count the number of characters we have for each letter. And now that we do, we can start getting to the transformations. So if it's A, we will get from what's in Z. If it's B, we'll come from what's in A plus Z. And then everything else will just take the previous letter, so index minus 1. And we will set it temporarily to the next array, because if we edit in place, we may cause some errors here. So that's why we have a temporary array here. And after we have finished setting up the temporary array, we will set it to the count array, and then we will continue the transformations until we have reached the number of transformations. And in the end, we can return the sum in the count array. So let's go over this example. So for next, we will first look at A. So this will be what's in Z. It's 0, so keep the same. And now we look at B. B will be A plus Z, which is 1. And then now we will count everything else. So shift over by 1. And now we're done with the first transformation. So we go to the second transformation. And as you can see, we will first take what's in Z and set it to A. So it will be 2 in the first index. And now B will take A plus Z, which is 2, 0 plus 2. And then we will shift everything else by 1 over. And now this is the end of the second transformation. So now we have finished all the transformation. We will count the sum over here, which is 7. And as you can see, this will be C, D, E, A, B, A, B, 2 A's, 2 B's, 1 C, 1 D, 1 E. So we return 7. And the time complexity would be O of S plus T, where T is the number of transformations and S is the number of letters in the string. Because initially it will take O of S time to set this up, we have to iterate through and add the counts, and then we will also have to go through T transformation, so it's O of S plus T. And the space complexity would be O of 1, because even though we will have to make these two arrays, but the length will always be 26, so it's constant. So now let's get to the coding part. So first we can set the mod up, so 10 to 9 plus 7, because we will need to return a modulo by that number, and the initial count array 0 times 26. And now we will look through the strings. So for C and S, count of order C minus order of lowercase a for the ASCII character plus 1. And now we will look through T, so the number of transformations. So first we will set the temporary next array to 0 times 26. And we will first edit A, so we'll pick that up from Z. And then we'll pick up B, which is Z plus A, so count of 25 plus count of 0. And then for the rest, from C to C to Z, then it will just be the previous letter. So count of I minus 1. And then we will set count to next. And then after iterating, we can return the sum of count modulo by mod. And let's see if it works. Okay, perfect. Hope this was helpful. Thank you all for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave it in the comment section, and I hope to see you all again soon.